Welcome. Welcome. Thank you to join us to celebrate the absolutely most powerful and greatest man ever. General, are you with us?
Mhm.
Were you standing up as our wonderful sister Megan played our national anthem on the violin? Did you know that you should stand up when the national anthem is being played? Anyway, keep that for next time. Uh, so welcome. We are, as you know, as you already know, we are celebrating 267th year, Earth Strong Year of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Still, his energy is very present. And if you feel weak, just say his name. Say his name. Dessalines, Dessalines, Dessalines. Say his name. And just the sound of his name can increase your potentials. So when you decide to celebrate him, to come and learn about who he is and what he accomplished, to meet the man who stood up and whipped the British army, the Spanish army, the French army, bring them to their knees and create a nation, Haiti. When you meet this facet of yourself, when we talk about Dessalines, we're talking about you. Yes, you, you, female and male. So tap into that strength within you so you can accomplish your goals, accomplish your mission, accomplish what you set out to do. So, as we come together on the various platforms, as you know, I call all of that fil arayen because la caille nous connaît, c'est fil arayen, c'est des arayen qui crée fil qui kembe cosmos lan ensemble. Donc, c'est lui qui fabrique fil arayen. Et c'est fil arayen qui permettent nous communiquer une avec l'autre. Et de pour monter sous fil arayen, pas gon famille, pas gon zami, on pas qu'à communiquer avec lui. Pas quitter moun fò perdu dans parole pa yo, de network, de pas konnen web ou site web. Nous connaissons ça déjà, nous connaissons depuis longtemps. Et nous relais ça fil arayen, toile arayen. Toile arayen, fil arayen, yo construit toile arayen pour permettre nous communiquer yon ak l'autre, quel que soit côté nous yé dans le cosmos. Donc, ensemble, nous avons commencé par dire Jean-Jacques Dessalines, bonne fête. Yes, I know. Some of you don't speak Haitian, but still, you can say that. It's a simple sound. Bonne fête. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, bonne fête. So, you can, if you have your bottle of champagne nearby, if you have, I have some flowers for him. I have what we call at home un laé zange, bokotem, tout c'est pour lui. Et quel que soit son gen bokoto pour lui, ou mettre level, leur arriver pour parler, leur arriver pour exprimer ou leur partager, ou à montrer nous son gen à qui ça on veut fêter. Papa Liberté. Merci.
Greetings everyone. Bonsoir. Moi c'est Alexandra Jean-Joseph.
And today we honor the philosophy and the spirit of our founding father, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Jodi a nap honoré Papa Dessalines avec danse banda, qui te yon nan danse li pi reme. It is a dance of life and a dance of joy. Bonne fête, Papa Dessalines.
Kedenimbo imanonse ase on agoe. Kedenimbo imanonse ase on agoe. Monde arrivé, c'est les waouh. Monde arrivé, c'est les waouh. Monde arrivé, c'est les waouh. Monde arrivé, c'est les waouh.
Au thème, en Bolani, nous disons merci à Papa Dessalines, le général noir, pour sa lutte pour la justice et de la paix. Honneur à toi, Papa Dessalines, que ton énergie enveloppe l'Afrique et l'accompagne. Merci, Akiba, tes enfants depuis le Gabon.
This is Dr. Ya Elombe. I am here in Cartagena, Colombia, and I want to say happy birthday to the founder, the general, and the emperor of Haiti. Happy birthday, Papa Dessalines. When we honor you, we honor ourselves. Thank you, thank you. Continue to protect and bless us. Happy birthday.
Good morning, Hotep. This is Professor James Small, and I'm joining the Felicite Foundation in the African world in wishing our great Emperor and Liberator, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, a happy 265th birthday, Earth Day. Thank you, Emperor, for being among us and for coming to us, and we pray that the ancestors allow you to continue to guide us in our struggle for freedom. We, in your words, say, liberty or death, freedom or death. Thank you, beloved Emperor. We love you still.
Welcome. We are very happy and we say thank you to all those who have taken the time to send greetings for our emperor. Nous dit tout le monde merci, moun qui branché, moun qui suivre, moun qui écouter, moun qui participer, moun qui voye ve. Merci en pile, nous toutes. Nous contents, nous là, je dis encore, m'a profité bah nous trois petits points. 3 points qu'on est sous Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Premièrement, pour dire Dessalines, nous dit discipline. Si ou dit ou remet Dessalines, et pour son monde qui pas réglé rien à l'heure, pas suivre aucun règlement, pas suivre aucun ordre, ou pas remet Dessalines. Parce que premier, ça Dessalines qu'on fait, c'est respecter discipline. Songeons-le, enfin, moi, lis. Toussaint, Dessalines te dit prononcer mot indépendance là. Toussaint tendait et puis Toussaint dit général, ou mettre effacer mot ça dans bouche. Dessalines saluait et puis il pas jamais dit ça encore jusqu'à ce que Toussaint pas sous territoire encore. C'est qualité discipline. Il pas rentrer dans hing hang avec chef li. Li chef la parler, li dit li ordre, li respecter l'ordre là. Discipline. Les chefs li mande lever dans mi-temps la nuit, tal régler tel bagay tel côté, il va dire ah route ça trop long, son cheval seulement gagne non, il lever la régler ça au mande le régler. Et toujours rangeons gens pour joindre la victoire dans chaque mission yo bali. C'est numéro 1. Numéro 2. Dessalines comme papa. Son nèg qui te gagne qui montrait, il gagne dialogue avec petite li, spécialement en Clérimène. C'est une première petite fille, il toujours yo te camarade dans bataille ensemble parce que Clérimène quand une belle fille dans 21 années elle a marché donc c'est un lot et puis respect que te gagne pour madame ni Marie-Claire Rose Félicité Bonheur qui apprend Lili à écrire français. Donc Jean-Jacques Dessalines montre-nous pas gon l'âge ou rivé pour pas apprendre toujours qu'à apprendre. Des pour vle connaît et connaissance pas jamais compte. Donc c'est 3 points qu'on est ça yo devez partager avec nous dans moment ça.
Sou Camãe Freire, do Brasil, e estou comemorando a sabedoria e a força de ori do general Jean-Jacques Dessalines, que levou Haiti à independência. Estou muito feliz de me conectar com vocês e aumentar o meu discernimento e a minha inspiração dentro dessa celebração. Imperador Jacques, desfrute um fabuloso 265º ano de força da terra, com poder. Enquanto o Senhor e os nossos ancestrais nutrem Haiti para que ela possa recuperar a sua visão e determinação de liberdade e prosperidade para todos os seus filhos. Axéu, Ireu.
Bolo aux têtes à tous, hommage et respect à notre libérateur, l'empereur Jean-Jacques Dessalines, que son énergie continue à nous inspirer et à nous accompagner, qu'elle continue à faire de nous des hommes et des femmes combatifs et décomplexés. Bonne célébration et bonne commémoration à tous. Kadi Asumuela du Gabon.
We're celebrating the 265th Earth Strong Day for Dessalines,
the founders of Haiti. Cheers, Papa Dessalines!
Dessalines!
Go ahead!
¡Feliz cumpleaños,
Ah ben, ouais. Dessalines, c'est pas seulement Haïti, non, n'a fait elle. N'a fait dans la Nouvelle, Colombie, Venezuela, Brésil, Congo, Gabon. Nous avons tout côté qui apprennent qu'on est qui moun lié, qui apprennent qu'on est salté accompli et qui qui content pour yo célébrer jour spécial yo pour lui. Quand que journée jodi a, journée 20 septembre. Donc moi c'est un gros plaisir. M'a ajouté à ça, les n'a gardé impact global des salines. L'on moun comprenne ça le réaliser. Comprenne bien. L'esclavage tabli pratiquement sur toute planète. L'esclavage sous continent l'Amérique, continent l'Afrique, continent l'Asie, et aux chrétiens yo mettent l'esclavage yo tout partout. Et yo fait loi pour 10 moun noir par moun. Et puis yon nèg noir campé son petit bout de zile. Li di bagay ça pas passer. So while the European Christians established slavery throughout the planet, Asia, Africa, Europe, America, so slavery is everywhere. One black man stood up on an island and he said, that must end. And he started to put down his strategies, developed his teaching, inspire tactics so that they would win, even if with no weapons yet. But the weapons were right here being created. How we're going to defeat them. The vision of our victory, the vision of our capacity to fight, the vision of our superiority as humans, the vision and tapping into the history of Africa 50,000, 40,000 years back, 30,000 years back, 11,000 years back. So when you have all of that history in your DNA, you have a lot of potentialities, and you can overcome 6,000-year-old folks who think they are it. It's you who have to change your mindset. Once you change your mindset, your victories are right around the corner. And that's what Dessalines' biography taught me. Change the mindset. Stop complaining about this little nonsense, this little that. Oh, look what they did to us. No. You go on and say whatever you see. How do I undo that? I know I have it. I know my ancestors have gone across this before. Let me be silent. Go into myself. Go into my inner self, my higher self, and find the strategies, the tactics that can bring me to our next victory. That's how we work. C'est comme ça qu'on travaille. C'est nous pour décider, quel que soit ça devant nous. Il a présenté nous ça devant nous comme oh son gros bagay, il n'est pas foutu rien pour ça. Non. Pas répéter ça. Whatever is in front of us is just one more obstacle. So now you have to figure out the right strategy to overcome this obstacle. And in you, the Dessalines in you can bring you to the right strategy and the right tactics to overcome whatever is in front of you. Trust yourself and have confidence in your neighbor, your cousin, your friend, your family members. We are an army. We just don't know it yet. But that's what Dessalines has taught us. He went to war with his daughters, his children. Many mothers took their newborn babies to the battlefield with them. Many fathers took their children with them. But these children were properly trained. They were not being taught, tonton Noël, apprend ti moun kwen nan tintinat, gris, bagay, menti, ridicule. Non! Apprend ti moun vérité. Soit parler de diable, c'est pour prendre l'histoire pour montrer qui ça diable fait. Les diables t'a créé esclavage. Sou pas qu'à montrer petit tout diable réel, non, pas parler de diable. We have to properly train the next generation. We have to face up. Yep. Again, I compliment our sister Alexandra, who did a beautiful dance for Dessalines. And let me add that Dessalines is a man who loves to dance. Yes. And we even found a note of Rochambeau saying, after 36 attempts to kidnap or kill Dessalines on the dance floor, he has learned that Dessalines is more dangerous on the dance floor than on the battlefield. So please, he tell his man, don't attack him on the dance floor anymore. We'll catch him on the battlefield. Well, they failed both on the dance floor and on the battlefield. The man was smarter, brighter, more brilliant, a greater military, a much higher level of strategist. That's who Dessalines is. And Dessalines is in you. Every time you talk about Dessalines, remember, every time you read about Dessalines, don't say, oh my goodness, look what he did. Oh, he is, no. You have to say, oh my goodness, look what I'm capable of. And I have not done that yet. You have not done that yet. So it's up to you. Are you going to continue to constantly talk about what you don't have, what you can't do, or educate yourself so you can start increasing the list of what you can do and how many ways you and Dessalines are similar? Yeah. Do you like to dance? He loved to dance. Do you like to cook? Dessalines loved to cook. And one of these days, we'll have to make a special on what is cooking actually. Because this world has given us a wrong concept as to what is cooking, what is dancing. We take these things as, well, things that don't matter. Oh, I love this black and red behind us. À la belle, belle. Noir et rouge ça qui derrière nous, qui derrière dos nous. Merci en pile, Sue Ellen. My greetings to all awakened Pan-Africanists. We see many messages coming through. Un pile message a vin joindre nous. Nous dit merci pour tout le monde qui a envoyé message. Merci pour tout cela qui a envoyé cadeau, qui a bay don. Parce que pendant qu'on a célébré papa nous, c'est moment tout pour nous renflouer trésor Fondation Félicité. Engagement yo, besoin yo a augmenter chaque jour. Donc, nous besoin pour toute petite Dessalines, tout soldat dans l'armée Dessalines, contribuer. Pas jamais dit so gen trop petit. So gen c'est l'eau kabay. Et nous disons merci. Nous dit merci tout à Jean Caz, qui voit don déjà pour célébrer papa depuis bien bonheur. Nous avons Watson Sanon qui voit contribution partout. Getchlin Jean-Louis voit contribution li. Woody Stanley Penn voit contribution. Baina Bello voit contribution. Maïda Bello voit contribution. Maïmouna Bello voit contribution li. Amir Dessalines Bello Abdul Salam. Ti nek sa ba pile problème, ça va pas de choisi pour contribution. Ma raconter histoire ça on l'autre. Mais en tout cas, c'est parmi moun qui contribuer pour ça n'a faire. chaque jour, tout bagay ap vin piche. Je dis à nous, te gen équipe là qui te prend un choc sous comment yo augmenté, yo doublé prix pour nous servir avec StreamYard, par exemple. Et donc, mais c'est pas grave. Nous connaissons même, c'est ça qu'on fait. Yo règle fait pas, mais nous-mêmes, faut nous régler ça, nous besoin régler. Et depuis nous mettons tête nous ensemble, nous mettons l'argent nous ensemble, we contribute with each other, you participate with each other, we will always have what we need to do what we want to do. No? And I've noticed that almost every year, when Dessalines' birthday comes, there's always a problem with this or that company, this one. There's always some nonsense going on. That's okay. We know what their objective is. They want to keep us from doing what we have set out to do. But that's all right. We're going to do it anyway, one way or the other. Et c'est pour ça qu'on connaît ces trois araignées. Sous trois araignées pour nous régler causer. Okay? What they call the website, we have been calling that for millenniums. The Guédé Toile Araignée, the web, the spider's web. We have known it and have used it for years. We just never formalized the use of it, and we need to get to that. Well, we grace and bless your name and your date of birth.
Peace, family. My name is Jeremiah Owusu Koromor, and I'm here gathered with you today in full support of Fondation Félicité, and we are here on this special day to commemorate the birth and indelible achievements of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the first founding father of Haiti, the first free established African empire in the Western Hemisphere. The pillar, the freedom, the strength, wisdom, and dignity. Although born into slavery, Dessalines emerged not just as a revolutionary, but as a beacon of liberty, vision, resistance for all oppressed people near and abroad. His military prowess during the revolution of Haiti was nothing short of extraordinary, but what really set him apart was his unyielding commitment to the abolition of slavery and the expulsion of white supremacy on the island of Saint-Domingue, leading to the rise of the Empire of Haiti. It was Dessalines who declared Haiti's independence in 1804, shattering the chains of colonialism and setting the precedent for liberation in all the movements of the world. Jean-Jacques Dessalines has taught us that freedom is not a gift bestowed by the oppressor, but a right to be fought for by the oppressed. His legacy reminds us that the struggle for justice, equality, and human dignity is one that continues today. As we honor his memory today, let us commit ourselves to continue the fight, to uphold the values he stood for, and to ensure that the same spirit that he bestowed lives on through us for generations to come. Thank you.
Greetings, greetings. Thank you, brother. This is our brother On the football field, he's great, and he's a great thinker. We are entering Q&A for those who have questions. Well, anyway, I hope each one of you will have next to you whatever it is you're celebrating as well. So I showed you earlier, I also have these 3 roses for the men, red roses, of course, for him. And I have my laillé les anges. So, all right. From what I can see here, we are entering the Q&A. But I see a guest has arrived as well. Welcome, Austin.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Austin is with the Black Alliance for Peace. And they have a message on this day about for Dessalines. They're celebrating with us, of course. And he and I are going to talk in particular about sovereignty. What is sovereignty? Do our people understand? So, Austin, please, you can start by saying whatever you want to say about Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and then we'll go on to sovereignty.
Yes, bonne fête, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. And we're happy from the Black Alliance for Peace to be celebrating the Earth Strong, the birthday of Papa Dessalines. And for us, we have in the Black Alliance for Peace the utmost regard for everything that we have heard so far about Dessalines, about the struggle for liberty, about the struggle for sovereignty, and the struggle to be free, right? And not only to be free, but to be free and sovereign. And so for us, that is a motivating, not only inspiration, but a call as well for our people, for all African people, whether we be in the US, where I am currently, whether we or whether we are in any part of the Americas. And so for us, that call to fight for sovereignty is one that is inspirational and is something that we need to heed, not only for the people of Haiti, but also for the people of all the Americas and all African people throughout the world as well. So thank you so much for allowing us to be here.
Thank you very much for being with us. And we also have 2 fabulous women with us. We have Jemima Pierre and my good friend and sister, Ezeli Dantor, who's a fierce warrior. Don't let that woman open her mouth about you. Don't put her in a position to chop you down. So, welcome to all 3 of you. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming to celebrate with us. And so I'll put to Jemima the same question the same opening that we already said is tell us a little bit how you view Dessalines.
As a proud Haitian person to talk about and celebrate Dessalines. Dessalines is the one that really, when we think about the Haitian saying, tout moun c'est moun, it's the Dessalines. Everyone, everybody is somebody. Everyone is someone. And it was Dessalines, it was under Dessalines who tried to put together, after winning this revolution, who tried to put together a new way of seeing humanity, a new way of understanding what community was, and tried to basically, once we defeated Napoleon's army and established a new way of understanding human rights, what humanity was, then try to create a unity in Haiti, try to redistribute land, try to create a socialist a community where everything was shared before he was cut down. And I think it's the message of Tout Moun Se Moun that I think we should always remember. We get, Dessalines was cut. His life was cut short 2 years after independence. After he wrote the helped write the the 1805 Constitution of Haiti that established this kind of equality for everyone, that really brought in the masses of the people, which is something I think we forget a lot of times, that really try to make equality the key aspect of what Haitian identity is. And that is what I get from Dessalines, and that's the message I think we always need to remember, that tout moun c'est moun, that we always remember the masses in our struggles, that we always remember to always actually not trust the outsiders, the white racist class that has been really controlling the world the past 500 years. And Dessalines understood this, and that's something we actually need to get back to, understanding that tout moun c'est moun, but also the treachery of the white racist class that runs the world. We need to remember that that treachery is still there, and that we need to fight against it to get rid of it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jemima. And let's go right to Maîtresse Ezili Danto. Qui ça, qui moun Dessalinier, son ouais, l'on dit Dessalines. Your mic is off.
Jean-Jacques Dessalines is the greatest hero to ever live. We have said that for as long as I've been doing this work. He is the greatest hero to ever live because after more than 1,000 years of Arab enslavement in Africa and 300 years of European enslavement, where they had human trafficking with the triangular trade, where they had forced assimilation, direct colonialism, and this horrid chattel slavery, Dessalines said no. So I say today, on this great day that you brought about, Maîtresse Baïna Bello, on the 20th, which is 9 months after the prophecy of Makandal. Makandal died on January 20th, 1758, and he prophesied that the island would go to Africans. And at that time, no one could conceive it. It is the same way with us at Free Haiti. In 2004, we say we are going to free Haiti in this generation, and we will do it. The way Makandal made his prophecy, I don't have to be here, but I know we will, because that's the only reason I'm here. Dessalines said to the mulatto sons of France and the Black collaborators that I want the assets of the country to be equitably divided. And for that, he was assassinated. We are still at that same point right now where we want no imperialism, which is when you're sovereign, you have no sovereignty because foreign interference of the core group controls all of the elements of nationhood. They control who's going to be your chief of police, who's going to be your president, how your currency is, all your borders, everything. The only thing they do not and will never control is the majority people who created a system that counters this state system where you have monopoly capitalism, or even in Marxism, it's just bureaucratic at the top, control assets, means of production. But today, just like in 1806, the people of Haiti are fighting back. We don't get any sort of media coverage, of course, from our enemies, but we still fight back because we have the counter colonial system, which is Combit, Lacou, Jardin, and Vive, which in another way is Tout Moun Se Moun. It's the right to self-defense and the right to life. That's what Dessalines stood for. And the message we have this year in our presentation and teaching is that Dessalines said, I only want the brave with me at Creta Pierrot. And I want to remind everyone, you must be brave. Even if you get cognitive dissonance because you think that the firepower of the nuclear powers are too much, we will get our sovereignty back because we have a counter. We're still here. Someone named Esli Dantor, Bayena Bello, Jamina Pierre, and Mr. Austin, we're here. So Dessalines is the greatest hero to ever live. His adopted mother, Toya, and I cannot on this day not mention Defile, who brought us our dignity by taking up all of the by giving us dignity, by saying no, even if they say, like they say to Esli Dantor, we are crazy. She said no.
Thank you, Ezeli. Okay, Marie Sainte de Basile actually is her name, the woman that all the books called Défilé, Défilé. Her name is Marie Sainte de Basile, and she worked in Dessalines camp as responsible for logistics. When Dessalines had 10,000 men with him, this is the woman who had to find a way to get food, cook the food, share the food, make sure every person got their plate. And in fact, this is the woman who also said to Dessalines at one point, you know what? This business of general eat first, that's not going to work. We can't do that here. The soldiers have to eat first. And if there is any left, the generals and the colonels and the majors will get theirs. And Dessalines said, what kind of, I've never heard this in all the armies, general. She said, listen, generals and colonels and majors, they always have a friend someplace inviting them to eat. So they can always eat. But the soldier, even if they have family nearby, if without permission, they can't go. So the soldiers got to Dessalines and say, yeah, okay, you're right. You're right. Go ahead. Do it. Do it that way. And so this is to show when we're talking about Tout Moun Se Moun, yes. And everyone had the possibility of suggesting something. It wasn't like a general that you could not say anything when he was talking. It's not that type of thing. So let's go on to sovereignty. What is sovereignty? This is a word that people toss around. How many of us really take the time to define sovereignty and to know when you are not sovereign and to understand if you're not sovereign, you're not free? Please, who would like to take it first? Jemima has a smile there that says, yes, it's me.
No, I was waiting for Esli Danto to take it. No, but I think sovereignty is an important conversation. It's something important to talk about. Dessalines defined sovereignty for us. We had the revolution that began in 1789, but the reality is it wasn't until Dessalines was completely able to defeat the full control of the European, the French, over Haitian life and liberty, that we can and then create the nation of Haiti, that we can really think about sovereignty. And to be honest, I think we need to think about sovereignty in two ways. We need to think about the formal notion. We think about self-sovereignty in terms of knowing that we are tout moun se moun. As Haitians, we are free. We are the original free people in this modern world, the first country, the first modern nation. As individuals, we are free because we are able to defeat slavery, colonialism, and white supremacy. At the same time, as a nation, as soon as we declared our independence in a world run by global white supremacy, the counter-revolution began. The whites tried to keep Haiti down. And so they've been trying to snuff out Haitian sovereignty in terms of the Haitian state, right? From the assassination of Dessalines through their, their children, the Afroshi who and the elite who were part of this assassination. They've been able to control the Haitian state and so on over time. And so what we have to think about then is think about, well, there's two types of sovereignty. We have to think about Haiti that has been under foreign control through this counter revolution of the white supremacist world, through coups d'etats, through occupation from 1915 to 1934, through economic dispossession, but also the occupation that began in 2004 with the removal of the people's president in 2004. And while we're still under occupation now, the core group, now we're under occupation of a a a a a, 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 a presidential council that was handpicked and put in place by the core group. And now we have mercenaries in Haiti. We do not have state sovereignty, but we do have Haitian sovereignty. And we have to think about the distinctions between that, the idea of what Haiti is, what Haiti means as a people, as we understand ourselves, and use that internal sovereignty that we have, our knowledge of ourselves as a people, as a free people, to fight against our capture and our occupation by the foreigners that still control and run our land and put in place politicians and gangs and people to bring violence in order to snuff out the voice of the masses.
Austin, could I ask you, thank you, Jemima, could I ask you to give us a very short, something that people could just go back and remember? Sovereignty. When you hear sovereignty, how would you define it?
Yeah, I would define sovereignty as the ability to, unimpeded by other forces externally, the ability to determine our destinies. So whether that is as individual people, but really more importantly at a collective level, to what Jamina was saying. And I think that aspect of sovereignty is critical because it means not only can I make these choices, but are the choices that I'm able to make being influenced or being really given to me. So I'm given two choices, right? But I'm being given those choices. And so if I'm being given those choices and I have to choose between, you know, a, a lesser evil and a worse evil, that's not sovereignty.
That's
Right?
right. It
You may
certainly
have the
is
freedom you think it's freedom, right? You've been convinced that it's freedom because you get to make that one choice, but you actually don't get to determine your destiny. So I think that's important.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ezeli?
Sovereignty is everything that your panelists have said, but I think also that for those who want to understand who and what we are, sovereignty is about owning your land, being able to control your land without being locked into an international system where free trade is fake trade and it's used against you. Election is fake election and it's used against you. Philanthropy is fake charity and it's used against you. It's,
Indeed.
you see, so for me, sovereignty is actually being able to be conscious of all of that. That interference locks you into an international system, a post World War II system where the currency of the United States control your currency, where your not only your economics is controlled, but your borders are controlled. There's overseers, but now the overseers are not the affranchis. They're not the enslaved that's at the highest of the hierarchy. They are the Syrian Lebanese. They control the ports. They control 98% of your local economy. So what we're looking for is a Haitian indigenous economy, not tied to the GDP of the World Bank, because the GDP only averages out workers who are employed by white supremacy or wage earners, where the most of Haitians are self employed people. So we want.
Excuse me. So, in other words, most Asians are functioning from a sovereign mindset.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So most Haitian are self employed people. They're not employees. I think last time I looked, there were 26,000 sweatshop jobs. But our schooled Haitians are constantly telling us to renew the Hope Act or some other sweatshop as if they're going to give us all. We have right now, they say almost 13 million people. If less than 100,000 are wage workers and they average that out to give you $2 a day, how does that reflect your economy when most people are self employed? And the informal economy, the backbone, the reason I'm here is because the Madame Sarraj went to market and they did not have a dollar. They had their own way of dealing for more than 100 years. And so I want Haitians, especially those who are economists, to consider how to elevate our sovereignty by counting the value of our lakou, the value of our lands that we own, which is not in our GDP, the value of our resources that we have, which is not in our GDP, because it is not valuable, white imperialists tell you, until they own it.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you to each one of you. In fact, one experience that illustrated sovereignty to me was maybe 82, 83. I was traveling, and this woman, and very often there would be somebody who asked me to fill out the papers for them at the airport because they did not know how to read or write. And so, of course, I would do it. And then this woman told me that she was going to Taiwan. I said, wait a minute. She don't know how to read and write. She can. She's going to Taiwan. What's the man? What's the problem? She says, no. I have $100,000. I'm gonna go buy stuff we need. So 30 women in the market have given me their money, so I would go shopping for all of us. I said, wait a minute. I have no.
That.
I don't know what 100,000 good looks like. And this woman is traveling with $100,000 in a system that says you're not supposed to have more. At the time, it was $20,000 you're not supposed to have with you. And she had it. And she went. And she came back with her stuff.
She's not counted in the economy.
Exactly.
Her lakou is not counted as value. So I urge all Haitians in the diaspora to consider how to create the system that reflects our people's way of life. We definitely, sovereignty means food sovereignty, local production, local manufacturing, local distribution.
And don't forget local laboratories to test our stuff, not
Yes.
have people tell us what is good and what is not.
Yes.
All right, so let's go on to, unless someone wants to add something to sovereignty.
Well, I mean, I do want to say one of the things that we always have to remember is it's because of the sovereignty that the imperialists are always trying to come after us. This is why they try to destroy our local production. They destroy our rice production. They destroy our clothing production because they dump secondhand clothes. They dump the rice. They destroy our agriculture, and they purposely do these things in order to try to remove us from our own self-determination, our own self-sustenance, the way that we sustain ourselves. And so I do think we need to remember that imperialism, actually, the outsiders are always trying to do this, trying to get us off the land, to make us into wage earners, to work in cheap factories and, in free trade zones, to make T-shirts for Americans and so on, so that we don't work our own land and have our own lakou and so on. And so we have to remember this, they're always pushing to remove us from our own ways of being sovereign, from our own economic production and political processes. So we have to remember that.
Correct. Thank you very much. But let me take a few minutes because some of our folks don't speak English and they want to know. And so let me do a quick summary of what we've said so far. Okay, nous parlons souveraineté. Souveraineté vle di que ou même ou décider qui ça wap fait qui bon pour ou ak toute famille ou ak lakou ak pepou et pour aller pour ka définir qui jan demain ou ça demain wap assemblé. Souveraineté vle di c'est sous indépendance c'est ou ka choisi Qui jan l'école ou ap marché, qui jan l'hôpital ou ap marché, qui sa ou ap choisi manger, pas sa moun voye ba ou, pas sa moun impose ou dans sa ap manger. Souveraineté vle di depuis nan moun nan, chaque moun individuellement capable prendre décision et c'est un bagay Dessalines te dans constitution impériale là. Yo dit faut chaque citoyen gagne un métier. Personne pas gen droit pas gen métier. Donc justement, c'est parce que le ouais faut que nous gagnions une attitude souveraine, c'est pour chaque monde gon métier. Donc dernière parole nous parler c'est que très souvent en Haïti, nous fonctionnons avec un mental souverain, mais là n'a fait ça nous fait qui bon pour nous, pour famille nous, pour la cour nous, pour zone nous, toujours gagner loup-garou étranger yo qui débarque vinn craser ça n'a fait. Quitte c'est dans affaires manger, quitte c'est dans ça n'a planté, quitte c'est les envoyer poison pour détruire, j'en été fait pour détruire tout pied cocoé dans Haïti, quitte c'est empoisonner du riz dans la Tibonite. Donc dans tout ça n'a fait yo toujours gen moun sa yo qui vle nous rele yo zami Haïti. Attention. Mais en fait, tout ça y a fait, c'est y a bay preuve yo c'est l'ennemi peuple haïtien. Donc, l'on pas comprendre sa souveraineté, ou prend caca poule pour bé. C'est ça nous dit là en gros. Qu'on y en a passé dans self defense. Défendre tête tout. Yo nan ba n'a travailler sur lui c'est défendre tête tout pour protéger pays. Sou pas quoi ka défendre propre tête tout, c'est pas pays ou pour le protéger. Donc c'est dans ce sens qu'on y a nous parler de self defense. Merci pour patience nous, moun qui pas trop suivre en anglais yo. Pas grand obligation non, langue sans outils. Ou parler langue ou vle, j'en vle toute langue égale égaux. Donc n'a dégager nous pour tout monde qui a écouté qui joindre Mosokosi. Merci. Okay, self defense. What is self defense?
It's the ability to protect your family, your community, and your nation. It's the ability to organize without the interference of the NGOs. It's the ability to train your own police based on your own values without having the OS tell you who's going to be your chief of police. It's the ability to say to the United States Embassy, you are meeting with death squads, and so you are persona non grata. It's having power to be able to control your security, your safety, and to be able to be self-determined.
Thank you. Who wants to go next? Self-defense?
I agree. It's really, I mean, we cannot talk about self-defense in Haiti without Dessalines. You know, because the truth, you know, our people had to fight with arms, with their minds, with their bodies against the brutality of slavery, against the harm. Self-defense is to defend yourself against all the harms that these people are bringing. The harms of slavery, the harms of dispossession and rape and so on.
Yes. And sicknesses.
And sickness that they brought. And so self-defense is to be able to fight against that with all you have. Fight using everything you have. And that's the thing we learned. Self-defense is not sitting back and begging for someone to stop hurting you. It's fighting back and forcing that person to stop. Even if you have to get rid of the person, you have to kill. That's what the Haitian Revolution was about. Removing our oppressors, getting rid of them so that they can stop harming us and harming our people. So for me, I think we cannot think about self-defense without thinking about Dessalines, because it's Dessalines that taught us self-defense. Because he taught us self-defense because he understood what it meant when we say tout moun se moun. And in order to have equality and unity, you need to stop those who are beating us, enslaving us from doing that by any means necessary.
Thank you. Brother Austin Cole?
Yeah, I think we've already heard. I agree with everything that's been said, and I'll just add that self-defense is also the ability of it requires the ability not just of a a single person, right? But for Dessalines and the legacy of self defense as well that he leaves behind is also understanding that it has to be an entire people, right, who are prepared to defend in all of the ways that Jamima just mentioned, right? In the physical, in the mental, economically, in our bodies, right? In our community structures as well. So in the idea of understanding that self-defense might mean having the weapons to defend yourself if your enemy has weapons, right? But it also means the ability to understand how your community is vulnerable. And you can't understand how your community, how your nation is vulnerable if you don't have a strong community, if you're not in touch with the masses of the people, if they don't trust your leadership. And so that is critical as well, I think, from Dessalines, is that not only the ability of a man or a person to be to have the the skill and the understanding, but also to organize a people to be able to fight for themselves toward a common goal. And if you don't have that, you can have all of the weapons that you want, but if you don't know how to actually use them, and if you don't know the weapons that your enemy is using, the weapons that we've already talked about of imperialism, then you might be stockpiling the wrong things, right? Because if you're in, you might be stockpiling certain things, but your enemy is actually attacking you in other ways and undermining your community in other ways. So it also, I believe, as well, is it's about self-defense in a holistic way as well, which means being fighting against all of the vulnerabilities that in this world, imperialism and imperialism, both in its physical manifestations and in its ideological manifestations as well, cripples our ability to defend ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And here's what I will add: self defense has to start in the mind, in the images, in the words that we use. The first big attack on Haiti was in 1860 when the Vatican imposed its agreement, in which Article 12 says the church has monopoly over public instructions. Monopoly in public instructions. That meant what? From this time on, the government, in fact, couldn't determine what the Haitian child would learn in school because the church had monopoly in determining what images would be created in our minds. And to me, that was the biggest blow, is when these people take over our mind. And we take, until today, you see somebody struggling to raise the money to go pay at some Congregationalist school to teach their child how to be stupid, how to believe in Tonton Noel, how to think God is white. So those are the biggest harm, because what happened is, when you are in front of someone who looks like Jesus's cousin, raping your sister, killing your father, after they do all that they do, you will stay there and say, well, maybe he was just in a bad situation. You will make excuses. We see our people do this all the time around the world because we have that Christian mindset that makes us always want to excuse the crimes that they commit, even when they do it on television, even when everybody saw them committing the crime. And even the family of those of us who have been victim, we will find the family saying, oh, well, we forgive them. We don't ask. Hey, no. Self-defense means protecting the first cell, even each cell in my body. has is programmed to self defense. Now, if in my mind I don't have a self defense program, then the harm that is done to my people will not affect me. And I'll be always willing to say, well, maybe, oh, they did this to Azali. Must be because her dress was too short. Oh, they did this to Azali because she talked too loud. No, we have to undo 500 years of the program that everything these people do is right. That's where self defense will begin. And then, as we take ourselves seriously, and I decide that certain things are not going to happen to Baina, because Baina is going to protect herself, then she's going to protect her family, and she's going to protect her neighborhood, her street. Okay. And once we start in that self defense mindset, I cannot not talk to my neighbor. Because if they attack our neighborhood and I don't know the neighbor across the street or next door, how much of a self defense can we do for the neighborhood? Which is why in our tradition, it was a must. Nobody could live next door to somebody else without, hi, cousin, ma tante kumoye, mon oncle. Everybody was an aunt, an uncle, a this and that. That was a structure of self defense. Yeah, I run out of salt. I go to the neighbor. She gives me salt. Tomorrow she runs out of pepper. She comes to me. She gets pepper from me. That kind of binding made it that if anybody strange came into our neighborhood, we all stood up against this person. But today we're following the modern way. I don't say hi, I don't say good morning to my neighbor. I don't talk to the person next door. Uh-uh. That makes us weak. We have to change the mindset. That's number one. And then we could learn. The other thing I learned about from our revolution, no one is unarmed. Yes, I have a nice bottle of champagne here to celebrate my man. But if somebody was to attack me, what do you think this bottle of champagne would turn into? Everything around you is a tool until you are attacked. Then it becomes a weapon. That's a mindset we must put there. Et puis me disent, famille ou ça, pas de monde qui pas qu'à défendre tête. Des pour gon l'esprit, ou ranger cervelle tête on gens, ou connaît qu'on gon devoir pour défendre tête. Moun pas gen droit rentrer sur vous faire n'importe qui ça. Mais l'on changer, Jean cervelle là ranger, à comprendre tout. Tout ça bon côté, ces outils, jusqu'à ce qu'on attaque. Et pour attaquer, tout ça bon côté, toutes ces armes. Ça pour me passer dans cou moun k'ap vinn sou mwen, ça pour me frapper sous tête li, sous nez ni, sous menton li, pour m'apprendre tout côté qui puissance. On compte défendre tête. Et si pas qu'à défendre tête, ou pas dire pas défendre Haïti. Pas qu'à défendre pays. Premier pays c'est ça. Faut nous apprendre défendre. Self defense bagay qui est important. En pile défendre tête là, c'est un programme qui t'a doué dans toute l'école primaire secondaire. Toute petite nous yo apprendre la justice commencer avec capacité pour défendre tête. Bon, on a continué. Where sovereignty, we see self-defense. What do you wish to add to our conversation?
To me, one of the most, of course, the 1805 Constitution is a classic. No one is worthy of being a Haitian if he uses he, so she is not a good father, a good son, a good
husband,
and above all, a good soldier.
A great soldier.
A great soldier. I love that one very much. I don't think it's, as a lawyer, I've never seen that in any constitution. But I think the most important one that he learned through experience when he was a general under Toussaint Louverture. And Toussaint Louverture had uh, allowed for the whites to come back. And then they wanted to do planter, bring back the people to work for wages for the same planter that they just got rid of. And what happened was, in Haitian history, these generals killed, and you guys know the story of General Moise. They actually killed General Moise in order to save some white farmers. Dessalines learned from that. He learned so much from that, because when Leclerc came back, when Napoleon came to re-enslave Haitians, all those white folks joined the genocide. So in 1803, when we won our independence, the most important, long-lasting, never shall a colonist or a European set foot on this territory with the title of master or proprietor.
Mhm.
That to me is the reason right now the World Bank is trying to change our constitution, because there are remnants of it still in the constitutions that have come. Even though FDR got rid of it during the first occupation. But the remnant they're trying to change right now is the one that says that no foreigner should own mines and our resources that's under the earth and our waterways. And that comes straight from Dessalines' law.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to have to step off, but thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everyone. If I could, if you have a link, I'll put this on my teach-in today, because I'm doing a teach-in on Dessalines.
Thank you. And when we're done here, I'm joining you.
Oh,
You'll
please.
celebrate
All
it.
right, I'll send you a link to come and join me
All
directly.
right. Thank
All
you.
right, take care.
You too. All right. So, who wants to go next? And
Yeah,
we're
I can
still
go next.
on something. Go
Did you want
ahead.
to go, Austin?
I can go. I'll give you the closing. I'll give you
Okay.
the
Yeah, because I
closing
have to step off too. Yeah.
or on the conversation. But I'll just say quickly, for me, the speech in Gonaive at the Declaration of Independence of Haiti is a critical one for Dessalines, because as we've mentioned before, he talks about creating, going down a new path, not making the same, trying to remake the European empires that strive off of war and colonization and slavery, but changing what it means to be a nation, what it means to live in harmony and fraternity and peace with the other peoples of the globe, and says that he's avenged America, right? To actually supersede the colonization, the white supremacy, and the destruction that had come before. And so I think that that is a very urgent message and lesson today for us to remember that we can choose a new path. We don't have to take what is given now, right? We can chart our own path, and I think you have to have sovereignty in order to do that, and you have to be able to defend that in the world that we live in, where there is, imperialist violence and white supremacy at every turn that you take. But we can chart a new path. We can, avenge our ancestors and avenge our descendants as well, and create a new future for all of our peoples of the Americas, for the people of Haiti, and also all African people throughout the world as well. And thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you for being part of it. Thank you very much. Yes, Jemima.
Yeah, so I'd like to just follow Austin. It's true in terms of thinking about people. The message I see, at the bottom of the screen, it says, "What lesson from Dessalines' leadership do we think is most important, most urgent for today's generation?" And I go back to the 1805 Constitution, but also his definition of the human is Black. For him, He wanted to get rid of the colonialists, especially the mulatts, the mulatto population, the color, light skin color population, the white population, all, these differences of color and class and race that were brought upon Haiti through enslavement. What he did was, the definition of Haiti, the definition of a Haitian, the definition of a human was black, and blackness represented that. And I think that's a very important thing, because blackness, people don't want to embrace the blackness, but I think to us, humanity is blackness, the blackness that the Haitian independence brought to us, that Papa Dessalines created for us. And that's, I think, something we need to actually remember, and take our view of humanity as one that started, our understanding of humanity. True humanity is a free humanity, and it's a black humanity. And so even the whites that were spared, that stayed behind, that actually fought against Napoleon with the Haitians, were considered black in the new Haiti. And I think that's an important lesson for us.
Absolutely. And I'm very happy you brought this up, because number one, it shows the man had enough power. He empowered himself to redefine things. Because here we are in a world that says the world is divided into, there's mulattoes, there's Chabin, there is Quateron, there is Dada. They had 16 different little skin nonsense. And he, in one sentence, says, all of that is over. Here, we are all black. Whether your eyes are blue, your hair is blonde, and I don't care under what sky you were born. Everybody is black. If you're Asian, you're black. Now, I got a hold of an interview in a Gazette where people asking him, but why? How can you say this and that is black? This is so different from that. How can? And so do you know what black is? He asked the person who's asking the question, and the person says, well, yeah, black is black and white. And he says, no, black are those who fight for freedom. That's it. It's about behavior. How you function determines who you are, not your skin. And even in another report of an anecdote, Dessalines, they're talking still about this color business. And Dessalines says, how can you give this all this importance? Se on koute rien ak on koute kok, wik fè moun chanje ras. It's just a roll in a hay with a man and a woman. That's all that it takes to change race. You can't give that importance. That has no importance. So the man he looks at life, and he could study and learn, observe, define, and then gives himself the authority and power to decide in the interest of the collective. And that is something we need to learn from him, absolutely. If we're going to be of any value, we have to have this ability to learn from Mother Nature and not be limited at people's books, people's laws, other people's decisions, especially people that we see that their behavior is anti-human. We cannot accept these people's philosophy or whatever else as having value. So thank you so much. You have enriched our program. You have brought a great deal to us. I hope all those who followed have gained as much as I have gained from having you with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's my
Thank
pleasure.
you. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. And thank you to the entire staff. I'm fascinated by the program you guys have here. I didn't know it was going to flow this way and all this fancy stuff, beautiful red stuff. Thank you very much. That's great.
Take care. Peace. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Merci Kwesi, merci Claudia. Nous font travail extraordinaire. Moi, tombé. Merci Souelan. Noir, rouge, superbe ça. Merci en pile. OK. Ma fonti camper toujours sous défense tête ou. L'important pour nous prendre ça au sérieux. Pour nous faire ça nous doit faire. Pour nous ranger là. C'est chaque citoyen, petit moun, grand moun, vieillard, kokobé, moun bout de jambe, bout de bras, manquer manger, quelle que soit situation là-dedans. Faut penser qui j'aime à défendre tête moi. Si quiconque ta vie attaquer. Et faut nous gon plan dans kay nous, si nous dans la rue, si nous dans l'école, quel que soit côté nous aller, faut que nous toujours gagner un plan qui là qui gens ou défendre tête ou qui gens ou protéger famille. Tant pis dans année ça qu'a fini, faut que nous ranger mental défense, faut nous mettre défense tête nous en dans cervelle tête nous. Faut nous suspendre litanie mais ça yo fait, mais ça yo fait, mais ça yo fait. Faut nous commencer marquer point. Merci, merci. Bien sûr, nous comprenons, c'est parole de Dessalines qui a passé sur l'écran pour faire nous songer, ça nous te dit sous cause si là. OK? N'a avancé, n'a continuer, m'a continuer à encourager chaque monde, tout le monde, pour nous penser en termes de qui gens n'a protégé tête nous, qui j'en a défendre tête nous, les nous attaquer. Et songer, attaque la cas culturelle, les cas religieux, les cas attaque bien sous toute forme. Quelle que soit forme, les finir, faut préparer. Si pas préparer d'avance, ou pas qu'à défendre tête. Bon, moi là, nous pral passer dans Q&A, y aurait ça en anglais, c'est question avec réponse. Donc, dans la langue pas nous, c'est K et R. Q&A, K et R. Donc, nous pral supposer tout le monde qui sous Zoom, qui sous, par contre, on est toutes différentes plateformes côté n'a suivi. Nous gantons nous bien chic, bien paré, ça qui gagne fleur, ça qui gagne champagne, ça qui gagne rhum, ça qui gagne du vin, ça qui gagne bonbon, ça qui gagne gâteau, ça qui gagne surette, ça qui gagne ontilae les ans, la pofri, mais tout ça nous gagne et que nous intentionnellement nous mettons comme une offrande, un bagay n'a offri énergie Dessalines, énergie générale là, énergie colonel là, énergie Jaco. Nous songez Marie-Sainte de Basile, c'est Jaco seulement le monsieur, pas jamais la fait de l'empire, rêve dans tout pas ça. Jaco, ça a toujours relève, c'est ça continue relève. Énergie ça, toute forme, toute illustration, son monde qui inspiré en pile peintre haïtien, toujours gen un monde qui a fait pas seulement haïtien, en pile peintre, en pile artiste, paquet côté. Donc ça c'est Ulrich Jean-Pierre qui fait Dessalines ça, regardez là, ça son Dessalines dans ville Dessalines si me pas tromper, ça son Dessalines son volontaire fondation Félicité que t'es fait. Ça quoi c'est Souellen qui fait Dessalines ça pour nous. Donc c'est un monde qui inspiré en pile monde. Dessalines inspired many artists all around the world. People have created what they feel is what Dessalines looked like. There have been stamps, there have been statues, there have been all kinds of things. This is a man who inspired a lot of us. So, this is Suelan's work. Suelan is in Brazil. And welcome back, welcome back. We are still here celebrating the greatest liberator ever, the man who whipped the three most ferocious Euro-Christian armies in order to give us freedom. And even after winning the last battle, they said, even if he wins, even though he has won the last battle, he cannot create a country. Well, he won the last battle November 18, 1803. November 29, 1803, he made the National Declaration of Independence. And on January 1st, 1804, he did in Gonaïves, Haiti, the Universal Declaration of Independence. So we are counting on you to tap on this energy, awaken it in you so you can accomplish the things you need to do. Do not limit yourself. Don't think you can't. Don't think you cannot. Because Dessalines' energy is running through your vein. And whatever he did in 1803, believe me, you can do so much more in 2026, 2030, 2040. You can do so much more. So, yes, we are counting on you to rebuild, to function on that energy so we can do the things we want to do. All right, let's go on to a question. I have your book on him. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Louise. Thank you very much. Now we're going to open for question. I don't know exactly how it's going to be done, but I'm ready and willing to start receiving the questions. I suppose that we are grateful. Every gift, large or small, helps continue the mission. Yes, we have a mission. We must continue it until we give back the breath that they borrowed us. They lent to us. We borrowed the breath. We don't know how many breaths we borrowed, but when it's done, it's over. And when it's over, we hope that we would have accomplished the mission that we came here for. And with your help, we know that we will. So remember, we do have available for you 21 points qu'on est sous Jean-Jacques Dessalines, 21 points qu'on est sous la vie in Haitian and French. We also have the book in English, 21 Jean-Jacques Dessalines, 21 Facts About His Life. And we also have 7 lois or principles of Vodou, which will help you understand the mindset from which we function. So, and by purchasing these books, you also help Fondation Félicité to carry out the mission. Question. What is the difference between power, force, and puissance? The difference, the number one, I would put it in a different order. I would say force, power, and puissance. Force is the first and weakest element of the three. Force is limited often to physical, material. Okay. For example, you will hear people talk about the police force. Okay. That's what they will use to go and arrest Paul, the police force. But the police force doesn't decide. It takes the judicial power to decide and write a paper to give to the police force the order to go and grab this person. And puissance is superior to both power and force. Puissance is totally invisible. The way it is sometimes used is with cars, for example. They will talk about the puissance of the motor. The motor of the car doesn't move, but it is through its puissance that it empowers certain elements of the car to make the car move. I hope this helped you to understand the difference. So punching somebody in the nose is not being powerful, it's just being forceful. Aggressing a nation is not being powerful, it's just being forceful. Dropping a nuclear bomb on a nation is just being forceful. Powerful nations don't usually attack others. How do you personally define or practice defending freedom? You do not defend freedom. Freedom, you profit from it. You defend situations such as slavery. You defend situations where you are under attack. You defend yourself when you are under constraint or attack. But freedom is an ability that you have, and freedom will be what motivates you to defend yourself against slavery, against constraint, against lies, against alienation. It is the force of freedom in you that will make you want to do these things. Big up Dessalines and all worthy ancestors. Rest in peace. I'm sorry, I don't use that expression, rest in peace. Our ancestors don't rest in peace while we are at war. They stand to inspire us, guide us. You know, they stand in the fight. Power to Baba Heru too. Yes. Power, all of us need to work up our power. Our power is often, we allow it to sleep too long, too much. We need to awaken our power. And by working at building a self-defense mentality, you will start to awaken the power in you. Sinovia, how are you? Thank you. Peace and love to you, Sister Bello, Sister Tata, and chat. Well, I'm not very much in peace mood today, as you might have noticed. And yes, but we need to develop our power, our strategy, our tactics. We must defend ourselves against an entire world that want to erase us. So let us be strong. Let us be courageous. Let us be determined. Peace will come when we are in our proper place.
September 20th. Join us for the celebration of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Emperor of Haiti, Empire of Freedom. Join us in this global fellowship as we unite in solidarity and unity for people of the African diaspora.
Thank you very much, Brother Cameron. Beautiful work, beautiful work. See, a lot of people, this program, we have people who worked from Brazil, others work from New York, others work from Maryland, others work from Haiti. People worked from all over, others from Gabon, all over the world. People were motivated to participate in whatever way they could. So please, we hope next year you will be part of those who work at creating the program. Also, thank you. Thank you, thank you. This was dans la co-fondation Félicité. Célébration, une célébration. Jodi à la, nous avons une célébration dans la co-fondation, nous avons une célébration qui a fait pour Salut, nous avons une célébration qui a fait dans Nord Cap, nous avons une célébration dans différents côtés, nous pas juste, nous pas pour compte nous à célébrer. Ça c'est célébration fondation impliquée là-dedans. Mais il y a une célébration qui a fait tout dans par exemple Villa Cayen, nous voyons que il y a des gens qui t'a fait pression sous dirigeants yo pour yo célébrer naissance l'empereur jodi. Et donc il y a différentes villes qui étaient dans la même situation, moun yo t'a exigé faut gon bagay qui fait nous noter tout année ça, il y a plusieurs écoles. Même les son jour congé, l'école yo te demandé étudiants yo vini l'école là pour yo discuter qui moun Dessalines nan te. Douvé son bel mouvement tout qui fait en Haïti année ça. Là, nous, c'est Azot, et année, c'est Azot qui vient jouer pour Dessalines. Chaque année, Fondation n'a pas jamais raté depuis 1999. Fondation a toujours célébré 20 septembre, toujours célébré l'empereur. Donc là, c'est image n'a regardé de différents années côté nous célébrer. Là, son année côté c'est sous un terrain football. Nous t'al célébrer l'empereur tellement te gen moun qui te vini, nous te gen plus que 2000 moun qui te participé dans célébration. Là c'est un auteur important, un auteur d'Eita qui te vini une année yo. Là c'est toute équipe là qui a marché sorti dans fondation pour aller sous terrain football là pour aller faire fête là. OK. Te gen année jeunes gens sa yo en tenue militaire te vinn faire démonstration pour Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Donc nous ouais célébration yo quand on dit depuis 1999 fondation en fait chaque année quel que soit ça qu'a fait là rien pas jamais empêcher nous fêter papa non. tout gens, toute manière, nous toujours fait. Donc, nous espérons, année prochaine, la fête plus gros, plus belle, plus bien. Et plus monde va fêter le tout. Nous très contents, là, nous t'ai fait commencer, c'est nous seulement, ou bien tes petits groupes ici et là. Mais je dis, depuis 2021, le gouvernement dit 20 septembre, c'est jour des Dessalines, et il bail congé. Comme il bail congé, il y a plus de monde qui a fêté. Since 2021, the government have declared Dessalines' birthday on September 20th, have declared that day Dessalines Day. Therefore, it is a paid holiday. So now, plenty of folks, many organizations, many schools, many city structures are celebrating on September 20th now, since 2021, since the government made it a legal holiday. So we hope next year we will see more. We know that the celebration is going on in different places in Africa, in Europe, in America, and we hope it continues to grow. It was my pleasure being your MC today for this celebration. I will remind you that during the celebration, we looked at the men Dessalines. We looked at two key thoughts and objectives of his: self-defense and sovereignty. We had our guest. We elaborated with our guest on the subject, and we showed you how around the world pictures of Dessalines. In Quito, for example, there's a bust of Dessalines which is guarded by officers 24/7. In Venezuela, there is a representation of Dessalines in many different places. And this past May, I believe it was May 15, Burkina Faso celebrated Dessalines on May 15. So many people are starting to understand this man and connect with him so they can tap into that victorious, powerful energy of a Black man. So I hope you will do the work too in awakening the Dessalines in you. Those of you who are on Zoom, you know that I'm coming to see you in a little when I'm finished with this. We're closing here, and I'm coming to see you so we can have our regular little conversation after the party. See you soon. Have a wonderful week, a great month, and a fabulous year.
Il a dit, en foulant cette terre, on est libre, quelles que soient nos couleurs. Il a dit, si chez toi t'es opprimé, fuis et viens ici, loin de tes colonisateurs. Il a dit, venez, venez retrouver la liberté. Ici on est libre, y a la liberté à gogo. Il a dit, venez, venez profiter de la liberté. Sur la terre de Dessalines, la liberté coule à flot. Il a dit, en venant en Haïti, on est libre au nom de Vertière. Il a dit, si chez toi t'es enchaîné, rebelle, Mahon, puis viens ici, car les chaînes sont toutes brisées. Il a dit, venez, venez retrouver votre dignité. Ici y a plus de bourreaux, plus de maîtres, plus de colons. Il a dit, venez, Venez retrouver votre humanité. Tous les hommes naissent égaux. Message à toutes les nations. Dessalines go. Dessalines go. L'humanité te doit une fière journée. Dessalines go. Dessalines go. La liberté te doit un prix Nobel. On doit dérouler, dérouler, dérouler pour toi le tapis rouge. Tapis rouge. Pour ta contribution aux droits de l'homme, pour ton altruisme. On doit tirer, tirer, tirer pour toi des feux d'artifice. Feux d'artifice. Pour tes leçons, pour ton exemple, pour ton influence. Papa Dessalines, oh aïe aïe. Papa Dessalines. Hey! Ha! Je dois une fière chandelle, oui, Nobel, oh. Papa Dessalines. Hey! La liberté, je dois un prix Nobel.
Merci, merci, merci tout le monde. Portez-nous bien. Songez, tout bagay commence à compenser. Souvent bagay c'est pour l'en penser. Faut penser, faut créer intention. Ça veut dire créer ou vle pour ça arriver. Chaque jour travail sous lui. Chaque jour penser, chaque jour poser action qui pour mener là, puis présor chercher. Si on réciter négativité, c'est ça on toujours joindre enfance. Donc, libérer terre tout, défendre terre tout, protéger pays ou Jean Dessalines te apprendre nous faire. Portez-nous bien, na ouais on l'autre là pour l'autre cause.
Dessalines, Cléonfo à nos mains déjà, va quitter tomber. Ou c'est vaillant garçon, l'autre li débagué canson, pays à nos mains déjà, va quitter tomber. Tout balai, maîtresse la balai, leader yo pas goûté. Yo monté descend galop mon pays a penché. Dessalines, Dessalines pas quitter la cour à tomber, ouais. Dessalines, ouais, pas quitter la cour à tomber, ouais. Empereur Dessalines, nous en bande déjà, va quitter tomber. Jeunesse la barre, ça ne va pas avancer.